السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. دمانتين وين سلامي أنا وحلبان محمود نور. هل كان وحنا قد داورنا إنسان ستوس وحنا قد داورنا إنسان برنامج كان سومالي تي في. وحنو مهد علينا يا سياد سعيد صالح. وحنو مهد علينا يا فرسم يقان كاسم موسى. هذه يد بن لو مهد علينا يا ما أنت نصيب وناق وحنا لجوجا ولكن كيت إلسون.
السلام عليكم.
waxaan la sii joogaa kii Anderson oo la shaqeeyo iyo walaasheen xildhibaan Hodan Xasan. Marka ugu horeysa waxaan rabaa inaan u tacsiyeeyo walaalkeen Keith Ellison oo runtii hooyadiis geeriyootay maalmo dhow la soo dhaafay. Inna lillahi wa inna ilaihi raaji'uun. Waxaan maaragtay u tacsiyeynayaa Keith Ellison. Keith Ellison, I just wanted to express our condolence for the loss of your mother. So I just wanted to start with that. Before we go into that, so I just wanted today's order by the governor and some of the updates that you wanted to give to the community. Please welcome.
Assalamu alaikum, brother. And I just want to say thank you to you, Hodan, and everybody. You know, I've gotten a lot of very warm, lovely messages because my mother's passing. And I just want to say that as hard as it is to lose her, it was very nice to receive those kind messages, and so I just thank everybody for that. You know, Allah blessed me to have a wonderful mom, you know, and I'm 56 years old, and she would not mind calling me up and telling me what she did. She had a wonderful sense of humor, and she actually was a very hard worker. You know, Hodan, like you, she was a social worker. And for years, she served people in the city of Detroit, and she was working up until about 4 weeks ago, where she was helping people in the juvenile court. And and I can tell you, years ago, and Mahmoud, you will remember when I went to Congress over 12 years ago now, I swore in on Thomas Jefferson's Quran. You remember that?
Yes.
Well, let me tell you, before I got a hold of Thomas Jefferson's Quran, before I got that idea, my mother gave me this mother of pearl Quran that a Somali American family gave to her because of the work that she did with their family to help reunite their family. She said, you know what, I want you to have this, Keith. I want you to use this when you swear in. And and then when I said, hey, Ma, I'm thinking about swearing in on Thomas Jefferson's Quran, she said, I'll allow you to use Thomas Jefferson's Quran as long as you take that Quran, that Somali Quran, which is mother of pearl Quran, and you put it on your desk. So if you come to my office today, the Quran you see sitting on my desk is a gift from my mother, who, by the way, is Catholic Christian woman. I converted to Islam when I was 19, and it was never a problem in our family. She was always very supportive. And she's the one, my Catholic mother's the one who gave me the Quran that sits on my desk. And, you know, I never thought that it would be one of the things that I had to remember her by. So thank you. Okay, let me get down to the work we're doing right now. So as you know, the governor has declared a state of peacetime emergency. That means that the governor can issue executive orders, which the people of the state must abide by. But the executive council has to approve them within 5 days, and the legislature has 30 days to either end the peacetime emergency or to continue it on. As many people watching the news may have seen, the peacetime emergency was extended to May 4th, and that means no restaurants, no public establishments can be open, grocery stores are open, pharmacies are open, places where you need essential items are open, but other places are closed. This is a big difficulty on everybody. It's hurting the small business people, it's hurting the employees, but it's not hurting them as bad as it would be if we let this virus just run wild. It could wipe out 20% of the population. It's very dangerous, and in fact, the stay-at-home order and people staying home is helping the health of everyone. So it's working slowly. We didn't have any reported deaths yet today, which is a blessing. But we are up to about 70 deaths. And we've had, and I'll let Hodan talk about those numbers, but the bottom line is that we don't have a vaccine. The only way we have to stop the virus is this sheltering in place. So I just want to show everybody my mask here. What do you think?
Looks good.
Good one? Yeah, there you go. So whenever I go to this grocery store, I wear this, and I put on rubber gloves too. Now this mask I'm wearing it so that I don't accidentally spread the virus, right? And so people, if you wear this, the droplets that come from your mouth will be caught here, and then that might save somebody from getting COVID. So you can be a asymptomatic carrier. I'm sure that Hodan will mention that in a moment, but you don't have to be sick to transmit the virus. So keep that in mind. You may think, oh, I feel fine, I can go out. Yeah, you may feel fine, but what about your 87-year-old grandmother? You could pass it to her. So be safe. Last thing I want to just tell everybody is that I have been very busy as your Attorney General protecting the economic situation of people. We've had many people, dozens of them, who are landlords trying to throw people out in the middle of the pandemic. And now we passed an executive order saying there will be no evictions during the pandemic. So what some unethical landlords have done is try to turn off people's utilities to force them to leave. We've sued 2 of them now, and we're going to hold these people accountable. If you are being harassed, pushed out of your place by a landlord during the pandemic, call me. We'll look into it, inshallah. Also, we've seen over 900 reported cases of price gouging, excessive prices when it comes to things like hand sanitizer, toilet paper, rice, meat, things like this. If you see this, you give us a call. We've seen this all throughout the state, over 900 cases. They're beginning to level off because people are getting the word that we're not going to let this happen, but it is out there. And then also there've been a lot of scams. There's phishing scams. Now, a lot of the stimulus checks are coming out now, Mahmoud and Hodan, and different people are going to be getting like $1,200 to help them through the crisis. Well, there are people, if somebody calls you up and tells you, oh, if you give me your check, if you give me your information, I'll get you your check faster. Don't believe these people. These checks are not going to go out that way. If you have any questions or you don't trust the people and somebody calls you, hang up on them and call your Attorney General's office. We'll make sure you get your check the right way. But these scams are already coming out, so be careful of those. So that's what I want to share with you right now. We want people to go on the website. We have the website up in Somali language. So if you don't speak Somali, we have forms that will help you with that. So that's all I want to say right now. Be happy to stick around and answer questions.
Attorney General Keith Ellison, quick question. With
Yes.
today's extension of the peacetime emergency, that goes for more, 30 days, which the stay home ends before the peacetime. So I just wanted people to understand the difference between the stay home and the peacetime emergency, and what will that do for the moratorium, for the evictions, for the price gouging, since we don't have a law in place in the state of Minnesota to stop price gouging. Can you explain the difference between the two and how will that interact with those two issues?
Right. Well, the extension of the stay-at-home is to May 4th, but the extension of the peacetime emergency is 30 days from when the governor renewed it earlier today. So given that today is April 13th, so it'll go to about May 13th, and he can renew it because he'll have the peacetime emergency power. Now, you and Hodan and all your colleagues in the legislature can't agree to simply not renew it. So there is a democratic check and balance. But we believe that given the escalation and increase of the deaths, that it's right. So stay at home till May 4th. We may ask you to stay at home a little longer than that. And the executive order allows the governor to extend that. We don't want to have it any longer than we need to. We know it's damaging to everyone. It's not a fun thing. It's not a good thing. We hope that it ends soon, but it is necessary for our health. Now, I will be able to stop price gouging during the pendency of the peacetime emergency. So I can do it right up until the April 13th, and I'll be able to continue to enforce the ones that we've already started during the pandemic. But after that, we won't be able to do any new ones. So, but the governor doesn't have to do everything or nothing. He can say, okay, maybe we're going to loosen up on the stay at home, but we're going to stay tough on the price gouging. He can do both. So that's kind of how those things work.
Thank you so much, Attorney General Keith Ellison. And just wanted to welcome Sister Hodan Hassan, who will give us an update on the status of COVID-19 in general.
Okay, thank you all very much. Jazakallah khair and barakallah feek.
We've got questions for you too.
Oh, stick around. Sorry about that. Okay.
Stick around. Yes, definitely. More people want to talk to you than they want to talk to us. So, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Wa idin salaami kulligiin. Reer Minnesota ay dadkan hawada naga dhageysanaya mana daawanaya. Magacaygu waa Hodan Xasan. Ana xildhibaan reer Minnesota. Waxaan rabay inaan idin soo gudbiyo information ugu dambeeyay ee ku saabsan Covid-19 cudurkan loo yaqaan Covid-19 ama coronavirus. Saa ogtihiin cudurkan cudur ciyaar ma aha. Waxyaalaha ka dhacayana waa aragteen wadanka Mareykanka dacaladiisa. Inaga alxamdulillah Minnesota cases-keeda hadda waxay marayaan 1650 842 qof ka mid ah 1600 waa dad hadda caafimaad qaba oo ka soo baxay karantiilkii 70 qofna way dhimatay marka sababta ay caseska Minnesota u yar yihiin laba wax weeyaan mid waa in uu governorkeena uu yiri guriga hala joogo oo dadka uu ku qasbay guriga hala joogo macnaha guriga hala joogo waxay tahay in cudurka faafitaankiisa la yareeyo midda labaadna waxay tahay dad badan lama test lagama qaadayo so dad badan oo waxa jira cudurka intuu ku dhacay aan test laga qaadin oo iska bogsaday alxamdulillah taasna waa wanaagsan walaalkeen Keith Ellison wuxuu hadda arintu ka hadlay wax yar hadaan idin ka taabto arinta housing ka aniga taas aad ii qusaysa maadaama aan housing ka shaqeynay ayaamahan oo dhan waxaa jira inta waxaan socdaan governorka ayaa wuxuu bixiyay amar ah inaan dadka guryaha laga saari karin marka qofkii haddii aad kirada iska bixin karto iska bixi waa alxamdulillah wallan good haddii aad iska bixin karin oo qofka guriga aad ka deganayd uu ku dhaho guriga ilaa waa inaad ka baxdaa xafiiska Keith Ellison la soo xiriir ayaga waxay ka shaqeynayaan inaan guriga laga saari karin xaq baa u leedahay inaad guriga ku jirto adoon kira bixinaynin laakiin haddii aad kirada awoodo inaad bixiso way fiican tahay maxaa yeelay wax adiga ku sugaya uun midda kale wuxuu ka hadlay jeegagii uu dawladda federaalka inooga imaanayay jeegagaas way hadday bilowdeen inay accountnada ku soo dhacaan haddii dad ay idin soo wacaana idin dhahaan jeegagaas lacagna siiya si waan idin soo boobsiinaynaa waxaas waxaa waaye been ha ka yeelina qofna lacag ha siinina jeegagaas accountnadiina kugu soo dhacayaan qofkii aan tax return xareyninna gurigiisu jeeg ugu soo dhacaya marka ha aaminina qof intuu soo waco inuu idin dhaho jeegan idin boobsiinayay lacag siiya waa mahadsantihiin salaamu calaykum
waa hagaag sida u maqlaysaan qofkii su'aal qabo qadka telefoonku naga soo wici karaa 612-305-8675 waa inagu soo celinayaa 612-305-8675 thank you so much Attorney General Keith Ellison and Hodan Hassan so for some of the challenges that we see with the coming of Ramadan it's the holy month so with the stay home, I know Ramadan is not cancelled, but we have to continue with our ibadah. How do you want to advise the community in the coming of the month of Ramadan, which is going to be around the corner within the next few days?
Well, I would defer to Islamic scholars on this issue. This is not a simple matter. as you know, I have been advised by scholars that actually normal Juma prayer in many places, you can't call it Juma. You've got to do the 4 rakats at noontime on Friday, and they'll give an Islamic lecture, but it's not the khutbah because, you know, there's a specific definition as to what that is. I didn't know that. I needed somebody to explain that to me. I'm not going to start playing imam because I'm not an imam. I'm just a public servant. So I'm going to defer to them. But what I will say is that I already began conversations about a Zoom iftar, if we can do that. A Zoom iftar. And I want to encourage people, don't violate the order because you think it's your religious duty. Your religious duty is to think and to do the thing that makes sense to preserve life. And Islam is very, flexible, and then there's a lot of examples of that. If you don't have water to do wudu, you can do it with earth. There's a lot of different ways to manage your faith in Islam. You don't always have to do the rigid thing, particularly if it's going to harm you. You can pray in alternative shifts if you fear an enemy, for example. There's a lot of things that are flexible. So consult your imam, consult your religious scholar to learn exactly how you do the Zoom iftar. But I would say that, remember, if coming together after a day of fasting is about building community, you could build a community virtually. So do that. But don't do things that are going to risk your health and the health of others. You can break fast with others online. And I would say do it. We're still going to fast. You're still going to read your Quran. The very essence of Ramadan, you could do that whether there's a pandemic or not. You can still fast. You can still read your Quran. You can still do your salat. You can still do those things. When it comes together at night, use technology to do it. And then when it comes to Eid, I don't know what's going to be the situation during Eid. Now, that's when a lot of people congregate, and that presents certain challenges. I would encourage the people who are the religious scholars to weigh in on that, keeping in mind all the time that it's better to, have people survive this than not.
So thank you so much, Brother Keith. So bisha Ramadan waa bishii barakeysneed. Waxaan ognahay waa xilliga maaragtay cibaadada, taraawiixda, taxajudka, dadka isugu tagi jireen. Waa muhiim marxaladda inaan ku jirno, inaan sii ogaano nidaamkii oo hore aan ku soconnay ma uusan dhammaan. Sidaa darteed waxaan rajaynayaa taxadar dheeraad ah, qof walba u baahan macluumaad dheeraad ah nala soo xiriiro. waxaan u malaynayaa dadkii inay fahmeen walaalkeen Keith inuu dhe culimada hala tashto. Culimadan la tashanaynaa, waxaan sameynaynaa barnaamij oo loo yaqaano Zoom oo haddeertana naga daawanaysaan telefishinka si toos ah nagu daawanaysaan inaan afur inoo diyaarino. So I'm going to take one of the callers. Assalamu alaikum.
Hello.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam. Alaikum salam Maxamuud, walaal waa idin salaamay dhammaantiin. Walaal su'aal baan qabaa. Waxaan rabay 3 qof ayaan nahay family. Odaygayga weli sharci ma helin, barsooskii u socda ayaa waxa ku dhacay shutdownkii. So isaga xaq ma u yeelanayaa lacagta?
Su'aashaas maanta hadda kama hadlayn, laakiin waxaa weeye hadduu sharciga maaragtay weli qaadanin uu waddanka weli imaan, hadduu waddanka joogo waa ka duwan tahay.
Wuu joogaa walaal.
Wuu joogaa miya sharciga ka maqnaa baa?
weli processkii buu ku jiraa xiriirkaas waxbaba uma soo dhicin ba يعني process laakiin
social security Somala
maya ma lahan weli waxba ma lahan
taas waa si gaar aniga ku soo wici doona insha Allah
hayo walaal
haye there's more information about immigration, somebody who arrived but they haven't received their documents yet. What should they be doing? So that's something which I'm going to call the caller directly and talk to her about it. So
good, but feel free to have her call us. We'll try to help too.
Lower?
Yeah, your voice is very low, Mahmoud. I'm having a hard time hearing you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, better. Okay.
All right, I lowered it to listen to the phone call. Go ahead. There you go. So there are a couple of questions that are coming through. Kian, I don't know if I gave you the live Facebook number. So
one question is,
there's
landlords are pressuring renters who cannot afford rent. What are your recommendations, Keith?
And it's the same question that I'm getting right now. So I'll let the caller explain that. Go ahead.
Hello, assalamu alaikum.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله.
Su'aal ma qabin walaalo, laakiin waxaan rabay inaan kaliya idin dhaho idin maxaan ku rahdaa mahadnaqo Keith Allison iyo Hodan iyo Maxamuud iyo ninka kale meesha fadhiya magaciisa ma garanayo raalli iga dhaqo. Keith Allison inaan u tacsiyeeyaan u soo galay. Ilaahay waxaan uga baryaa hooyadiis inuu jannadii firdawsa ka waraabiyo asagana samir iimaan ka siiyo. Adinkana shaqada aad noo wadaan inaan idin iraahdo thank you baa idin soo wacay. Waa run qofka bini'aadanka shaqada uu qabtay waxaa fiican in la dhiirigeliyo oo la yiraahdo shaqo fiican baad noo haysaan taladiinana waan qaadanaa gurigaana ku xareysannahay wixii talo iyo waana ana waa idinka qaadanaynaa ilaahay khayr badan idin siiyo waa ducaan idin soo wacay ajir iyo xasanan Allah idinka siiyo dhammaantiin.
Kian, go ahead with the question. This was for Keith for the condolence and also saying we'll abide by the rules that are coming from the leadership. Go ahead.
The question is, what are some of the recommendations you have for landlords who are pressuring renters who cannot afford rent?
Well, if you are a landlord, there is an eviction moratorium. You cannot evict anyone. You can't evict them with the use of the courts. You can't evict them by trying to just force them out. If you do that, I'm going to be forced to take you to court. So please don't do that. If you're a tenant and you're being pushed out during the pandemic by your landlord, give your attorney general a call. We will do something about it. Now, there is a problem here, which is that a lot of landlords who they borrowed money from the bank in order to buy the property so that they can rent it out to anyone. If they don't get the rent, they can't pay their mortgage. They could end up in foreclosure too. And that could be a real problem. So I think with the landlords, we need you to call the Small Business Administration, call your bank, tell them that your tenants can't pay you and so you can't pay them. We understand this is a problem. Call our office, call the Department of Commerce, and we'll try to help you, but do not throw people out into the street. There's two good reasons for that. One is that it's cruel to throw people in the street during the pandemic, and it's inhumane. The other reason is that if people are sheltering in place, their likelihood of transmitting the virus is lower. If you put them out into a shelter with a whole lot of people living in close quarters, you've increased the chances that they will transmit the virus. So evicting people is increasing the chances of transmitting the virus. So this is dangerous. It's a public health problem, and we ask you not to do that.
And can I add that I encourage people to work with their landlord. If your landlord is willing to work with you, please work with your landlord, come up with some sort of payment plan. The state has not passed rent assistance yet, so rent is still due. Where, you know, they can't evict you, that does not mean rent is not due. So we encourage people to talk to their landlord and get into some sort of a payment plan. So you're not, you know, you don't fall behind.
So we'll take one final question online and then we'll wrap it up. Well, kuso su'aasha daba. Adiga kuso wala hay.
waa mahadsantihiin dhammaantiin khayr badan Allah siiyo sida waxaan bulshada ugu adeegaysaan su'aal baan qabay bishii waxaan xareeyay labada bisha unemployment waxaana ka soo wareegtay asbuucii bar welina barkii ma helin marka waana la dhaafay xilliga aan codsaday oo maanta waxaa la maray waxaan codsaday last Tuesday aan codsaday welina wax ma helin.
So this question is on unemployment. I think Hodan and I can take this one. Wixii maaragtay aad sugaysay haddii 10 casho ay ka badan tahay fadlan si toos ah anigii hodan noola soo xiriir intaas waxaan rabaa inaan kusoo gabagabeeyo taasaytana waxaa waaye si toos ah xafiisyadayna maaragtay noo soo wac anaga ku caawinaynaa. So with that, I just wanted to ask Brother Keith to do the closing remarks.
Well, let me say thank you all again, Mahat Senate, for having me on. You can count on me to come on whenever you ask, inshallah. And we are going to get through this pandemic, inshallah. We are going to make it through together, God willing. And I just ask everybody to stick with the governor's executive orders. They're not meant to tell you what to do. They're meant to preserve your life and the life of others around you. If you see anybody exploiting the pandemic to make more money and get extra money just to take an opportunity against other people, call the Attorney General, let us know. We'll take action. We already have taken action. We'll take more action. But with that, I want to thank all the landlords who are doing the right thing, all the employers who are doing the right thing, all the folks who are doing the right charitable good thing. Remember, this thing is making people nervous and anxious. So call your loved ones, call your friends, call your parents, call them and let them know that, it's going to be all right, inshallah, and that there's a lesson to be learned with this pandemic. Stay in touch with your loved ones. Don't forget there are people who love you, who you've not called in a long time. Call them, check on them, and we will be all right, inshallah. So with that, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu, and we'll talk to you soon, inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum dhammaantiin waan salaamay taas hodan noo soo xir.
Well, Mahmoud wa mahadsan tahay. Kian, thank you very much for joining us. Keith, thank you. Waa mahadsantihiin kulligiin. Waxaan isku ognahay in la dadaalo, la taxadaro, la iscaawiyo. Xilligan waa xilli adag baan ku jirnaa. Dadka waalidiinta ha laga warqabo, ha la iska warqabo, dariskaaga ka warqab. Ha u tegin oo ha u wareegin, laakiin dadka ha la waco, ha la iska warqabo. Xilligan weliba waxaa aad u bata mataqaanaa khilaafka dadka qoyska iyo mental health oo cudurka dhimirada ku dhaca. Maxaa yeelay dadkii guriga lagu soo xiray, waxaa la yiri guriga ha la joogo. Marka waxaan rabaa inaan dadka xusuusiyo, ha la isu naxariisto, ha la iska warqabo, faraha ha la iska dhaqo, guriga ha la joogo. Insha Allah waan ka baxaynaa dhibkan. Ilaahayna ha la baryo inuu culayskan iyo dhibaatadan inaga kor qaado.
waa hagaag halkan waxaan naga daawanaysaan Somali TV toos ah. aad iyo aad baan iga mahad celinaynaa ilaa marka dambe insha Allah aan kulmi doono. Assalaamu calaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakaatuh.